Hello and welcome back to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified the minute I have up new tutorials. Let's get started. Tonight I'm going to be showing you how easy it is to make graduation fans. First of all, I want to show you the different fan options that I looked up, and all I did was for the ones that look like fans, for these two, I just typed in hand fan or paper hand fan, and it brought up all different images, uh, all kinds of free ones, and as well as others that you could purchase. And then since it's graduation, I looked for a cap that looked like it would make a good fan, and then a diploma that I want to add into it, and then the scroll here is one that's popular too. I see a lot of crafters making them with the scroll. But let's get started. I'm going to start with this one, which is the cap, and I wanted to group it with the diploma. So I just put the diploma. I'll zoom in a little. I put the diploma up so that it would link everything together, so that wouldn't be hanging free by itself. And I wanted it so that everything would be in one, so it would hold everything together. All right, so now I'm just going to group these two and close the puzzle piece. So that'll be my first one, and then the other one I use this image. So first of all, and I already have the grads down here set up so that I could pull them in, but I'll show you how I added the background. So I'm going to make a blank sheet in the landscape position, and then I had my graphic open, which was this guy I wanted to use from the internet, and all I did was put him in the corner and enlarge him a bit. But now I need his background. So for his background, I just did a gradient. So I'm going to go here to cut out in picture, add a colored shape, and then I took that shape to the corner and drug it across using the side markers as well as the corner markers to fill up the page. Then I'm going to hit done, and I'm going to drag it to the back. Now I wanted this as a gradient, so I went to paint and color effect, fill with the gradient, and these are all the gradients you could fill it with. There's all kinds of gradients you could use, but I want to do a custom one. So you click here where it says custom two color gradient, and now you get to choose the colors you want. So I chose royal blue, or a darker blue, more like a navy blue, I think. And then I also chose a lighter blue, and I'm going to hit done. And as you can see, the top color grid has the one color, and then the bottom color grid has the second color. And you could put any two colors together you want, and it will make up your custom gradient. So now I'm just going to hit done, and brings me to this page, and then this is where you're going to choose which way you want the rays going. So click on any of these choices, and I think I went with the one that had the darker top corner, but you see all the ones you can use. So I'm going to go with this one and hit done, and now we're ready to make the fan. So as you can see, I have the stick already on the page because this is going to be a mock-up that you can still use to print out your fan. And then I just click it and drag it and drop it into my page. So now I'm going to resize this so that it fills up the whole page. Fills up as much of the page as possible. Now I'm going to go to cutout in picture, fill cutout or picture with the picture, and then I'm going to drag up the image that I want to use from the bottom. And as you can see, it's filling in part of it but not all of it. So now I want to drag from any corner so that I'm keeping the image in proportion, and then you can move it all around until you get it positioned where you want it. So I'm just going to keep enlarging this until you're not seeing this square cutoff of the bottom of the picture, where it looks like he's more complete. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I can take him up some more in this corner. Go a bit more. Yeah, that's looking good. So now he's filling in this area, and then all that's left to do is to bring in, go ahead and hit done. Once you have it positioned and you have all the whole image of the fan in there, hit on text, add text. I chose this font. It's called Copper Plate Gothic Bold because it looked kind of manly, I thought. And so now you're just going to click here, highlight, and type in the name of the student or whichever part of it you want to start with. So you have the name, and I put it here, and as you can see, it's blending in with its cap. So what I do next, I go to Apply Special Effect, add or highlight the text. I'm going to click on this one, which is the thick edge, change it to white so that it makes his name stand out. And then I can thicken that all the way up to 100%, or you could take it all the way back down where it's just a light shadow. But I wanted to show it stand out, so I'm going to take it all the way up to 100%. Hit done, done again, and done one more time, done for the fourth time. And each one of those dones, you can do different things with the text. That's why it has so many choices before you get back to closing it down. And so now we have his name there, and we can use this same one by going here, hitting copy, and then paste, and then you get the font with the shadow already around it. Right click, hit edit text, change this to class of, and before I change the class of, I'm also going to change the font. So I'm going to click on this down arrow. It brings up all the fonts that are on my computer. When you click it, it'll bring up all the fonts that are on your computer. And then I'm going to go down to one of my favorites that I use whenever I want a script writing, and it is Edwardian. I went down too far. There it is. And now I'm going to type class space of and space again so that they're all on separate lines. 2022. Looks like I went down too far on that one. There we go. And now I'm going to hit done, and I'm going to resize this a bit. And then down here I put the name of the university. You can do another paste because it'll still be saved in there. And that's the font I want to use as well. And so you just right click, hit edit, and then you change that to the name of the school. And I just said Harriet University. And hit done. And then resize it by any corner and move it where you'd like it to be. And then for this corner, you did it. And I just, once again, you could either go to and make a new text box, or you can hit the same one that you already have on the clipboard. And this one I changed it to you did it. So I'm gonna right click, hit on edit text, change it to you did it with an exclamation mark. And then rather than make this one just like all the other ones, I changed the inside color to gold. So I just clicked here on this gold square. Then it brings up other colors of gold. I went with the one that looks a little more antique. And then I went to apply special effect. And instead of leaving that outline as white, because the writing would show up better with a different color outline, I click on outline, customize the text, and then I change that outline to, I think I changed it to black. I think I need to lighten up my goal, so I'm going to click out done, and I'm going to go back to another goal by choosing my color, and then I'm going to just bring that out so that I'm just sliding it. Wherever you slide this, that's the color it will change to. So I'm just sliding it out to a brighter gold, but still on the antique side. And just like that, you've made a fan. To make the other fan, I have a gradient behind this college student. So I'll show you how I made this one right quick. You go to cutout and picture, add a colored shape. Once again, the same thing you did in the first one. I'm going to drag it down one layer behind her, pull it up to the corner, drag it down to the bottom, then pull it out to the side. This time I'm going once again to paint and color effect, fill with the gradient, but this time I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to use the gold. And then I'm going to scroll down into the style and choose this one, which is like a pinpoint, which turns this into rays. And now we're ready to make her fan. And for her fan, I'll go ahead to the blank page and shrink this down for now. You see when I clicked on this, it didn't put the little quadrant markers around it, and it won't let me move it. All you have to do is open up anything, don't make any changes, close it back, and all of a sudden it can move again. This is because this software is kind of old and it gets quirky sometimes, but you see how easy it is to get around that. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down so that it's not in my way, and then I'm going to bring up the fan that I made for her, drag that in. I'm going to make it as large as I want it to be, or as fan size wise. I want it a little narrower. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to cutout and picture, fill cutout or picture with a picture, and then I'm going to drag her into this image. And all I have to do is resize hers so that she's fitting in the whole image as well. So I'm going to pull her over some. I could shrink it down a little bit, making sure that I'm still going to include not that so that none of these areas are cut off. I'm still including the whole outline of the fan. So I can make this as small as I can get it. Pull it down a little bit more. And now hit done. And now all I have to do is include all of the writing for this fan. So I'm going to click on her image here in the side panel, in the layers panel, and I'm going to drag her to just above the stick for the fan, where you can see all of the font is now, all the text is on top. And then I just need to bring the text up, resize it, change the name, put them where I want them, and resize them. And just like that, you've made two different fans in two different styles, two different shapes at least. Add in your stick, and this will make your mock-up to send to your client by adding in the stick. And I just put a little shadow around the stick, so I'm going to put a shadow around her fan outline by clicking on it, going to Special Effects, Shadow. I'm going to click the soft shadow, and you see it makes a soft shadow all the way around, and I'm just going to drag it out a little bit and down a little bit to make it offset. And now you have your mock-up to send to your client or your customer. And then when you're ready to print this out, get Design Space if you want to cut it out in there. But remember, you have the parameters within Cricut Design Space if you're going to cut it out there. If you decide to cut them out by hand, which I do sometimes, if I want it really large and want it to be larger than print and cut parameters, just remove the shadow by clicking on special effects, shadow, and then the X to remove it. And then you're ready to make this fan. Now, if you were going to put a lot of information on it, you could click on it, group it all, and you can make this a full page if you want. Sometimes I'll make the fans full page if the customer wants a lot of writing on the back or extra photos of themselves on the back. Then I'll fill up the whole page and I'll just cut them out by hand. Now, if you want to take these images into Cricut Design Space to cut, I would suggest that you would just leave it as the hat, because with this extra portion, it would be it would make the fan too small. So if you were going to make it in Design Space, I would just use the image by itself. So I'll go and I'll detach these, and I'm going to make a new sheet by clicking on File, New, and I'll just bring up the cap by itself by clicking on it, left clicking and dragging. And then I'm going to do the same thing, resize this so that it's filling up a majority of the page, which once you take it into Cricut, of course, it'll have to be in the print and cut parameters. And I'll bring up my image again by clicking on Cutout and Picture, fill Cutout or Picture with the picture, and then drag in the image that I want to use, resize it so that he's filling in a good portion of the fan here. Hit done, and then of course you would bring up your writing again. So I'll just drag up some of it so that you'll see how to do this. But just imagine I have all of the information in there. Now you would go to File, Save As. You would change this to a PNG by clicking where it says Picture Format. You click the down arrow, scroll all the way down, and right here, the second one is Portable Network Graphic. You would click on Portable Network Graphic, take it back to any drive you want to, wherever you want to save it. This would be saving it in downloads. I'll just put it there for now. And then you can change this to your customer's name if you want, and then hit save. Now you're going to go to Cricut, choose Upload, Upload Image, Browse. You're going to look in the folder where you saved it. In my case, I saved it in Downloads. I'm going to grab the one that's called Jace. I'm going to choose Complex because I want all my colors to stay the same. Continue. It's already in PNG, so the background is cut out. I'm going to hit Apply and Continue, even though I didn't do anything to it. I'm going to click on the image I want to keep. It's automatically putting the name there, and choose Upload. Design Space is being updated, and when I tried to save earlier, it said that it couldn't do it at the time. So you would just take it to Cricut Design Space, upload it, and then change the parameters to the print and cut parameters, and you would be ready to cut out your image. Now, if you were doing this one, I would probably slice off some of this so that it won't take up your inches in the parameter, so that I would cut it about right here, and then that way you would have the maximum size that you could cut without it shrinking it down too small. So I'll just show you with just by putting a white piece right now, just to show you how it would look. So if you cut it right there, it still looks like it's you can still tell that's a tassel, and then you would be able to get a bigger print, than you would be able to have a larger fan since you cut off that extra. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Once again, don't forget to hit the like button, please. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell if you'd like to be notified the minute I have up new tutorials. I'll see you next time.